Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. This is the daily live show that we do every weekday at 10:30 Eastern Time. First, the man sitting next to me is Daniel Gracie. For those of you who don't recognize him, Daniel Gracie from the famed Gracie MMA family, and of course, he's in Costa Rica right now and visiting the office. We figured we'd have him sit in for the first few minutes, pick his brain a little bit on MMA, his views on it, and maybe some information that he might be able to share with us to help us with our handicapping. Daniel Gracie, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so first of all, the reason I'm wearing this outfit is because I in this show I give official picks, and I made a commitment that I wasn't going to stop wearing this outfit until I had a losing day. And yesterday, Matty Ice, second winning day in a row, 6-3, including one including success. All right,
so I live in New York. I love that.
Yeah, very nice, Daniel Gracie. So that's 2 days in a row of winning picks for me. It's pretty good, right, guys? 2 days in a row.
Kidding me?
Yeah, absolutely. Positivity, positive thought. That's what I love about MMA, guys. All right, Jay.
Before we came on, you said you had a school in New York, right?
Yeah, I teach at my cousin's school. Hamza, my cousin, has a school in there. I'm one of the teachers. I teach in New York and Brooklyn, whereas New York too. But yeah, 2 huge schools there.
Yeah, very nice.
You guys are out there and you want to learn some more, definitely hit them up.
100%.
Yes. How can people get in touch with you?
Daniel Gracie, Brooklyn. Daniel Gracie, New York. We are 1 block from the Madison Square Garden in New York. And in Brooklyn, we are in Williamsburg, like one of the best areas. Both schools are in the best areas possible.
That's very nice. Yeah, and since MMA became sort of overtook boxing as the most popular combat sport, I'm assuming that there's just tons of people who are looking to train BJJ and all that, right?
Yes, and we have most of the guys that belong to our team, they're UFC fighters. They come to train jiu-jitsu with us, and some of them, of course, train MMA.
Right.
But most of them come to learn the jiu-jitsu techniques,
right,
to apply on the MMA, on the ring, and they've been very successful with the ground game. They're learning fast, and I don't think we have a best place to train jiu-jitsu in US. I don't think you're gonna find a better place than the Hanser School.
In the entire US, you won't find a better place. Wow.
US. For MMA fighters, there is no better place to train jiu-jitsu than my cousin's school in New York.
How about the whole world?
I would say the whole world.
Wow.
We have, look, we literally, I see some guys, I'm not gonna name them.
Right, no, we don't go to start any fights here.
Famous, UFC champions, they come to train with us, and then they train with a guy that is a nobody. It's just a guy that I see every day, one of my students, and they just get their butt kicked, and they get out of there sad, and they're like, I just get my ass kicked by
what happened?
Someone that I don't even know who it is.
Right.
And that's why jiu-jitsu is the best humble, it's the best martial art to humble you down.
Yes. Humility is one of the key aspects to success in life.
Exactly.
In general. All right. So tell us just quickly, what was your MMA career like? I mean, I know you fought in a bunch of places.
Yeah, I fought in Pride.
Yeah.
When I fought in Pride in Japan, it was the best event in the world, Pride.
Yeah.
I started my career in MMA late because I love jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu is my art, and I wanted to be someone in jiu-jitsu first. So I accomplished a bunch of titles. I went 4 times. I was second place on the worlds, and I was 2 times champion, 1 time absolute champion on the worlds. And then on the end of that, I say, you know what? It's not exciting for me anymore. I want to do MMA. Then I called my cousin Hanzo one day, and I said, I want to fight. And he's like, have you trained boxing before? I said, no. Have you trained no gi? I said, no. So how you want to fight? I'm like, I want to fight. Just, get me a fight. I'll go there, train with you, and I'll be ready. And then he's like, okay, so come to New York, train with me, and then I'm going to put you to fight. So I get to New York. I start to train with him. I have no idea where I'm going to fight. So I'm getting ready. He's like, we're going to do a 3-month camp. And we did. And then the last week of the camp, he's like, okay, so you're fighting in Japan. You're fighting in Pride. I almost fell when he told me. I'm like, really? Are you kidding me? So I go there, my first fight, 60,000 people watching on the Saitama Arena. I was not concerned about the fight. I was concerned more with the people watching. I'm like, I'd never been to a place like that. There was people watching. They were above my head. That's how big was the place. And it was amazing because they understand jiu-jitsu there. Yes, it's not like definitely. Here. Oh, absolutely. The UFC fans are like, kill him, knock him out, or stand them up. They're quiet. And then when you do a move, even on the ground, they just go like soccer. and it was fun. It was very fun. And then I get hooked. But unfortunately, I couldn't have a very successful career in MMA because I start late.
Right. Yes.
And I did good. Like all my losses, I have one loss that I really lost. I think the other losses were more bad decisions.
Right,
one, I get a cut, and I knocked the guy down on the second round, but he elbowed me on the second round, and he was out. I saw his corner coming, pulling him up. What it can happen because you can be saved by the bell.
Yeah,
like your corner can come in. If you're down, they have to wait for you to come up by yourself. And they lift him up, and he looks around, and he's like, "What happened?" And I said, "Man, he was out. I'm gonna knock him out on the third round." And then the doctor stopped the fight and didn't let me come back because of the cut. So, but the knowledge was very good for me to pass to my students now.
Sure.
So there's a bunch of people that say they don't need to be an athlete to be coaching those athletes. It's BS.
Yeah.
You have to go through that to know how it is to get punched, to know how it is to get down and have to go back up, to feel your lungs like they're gonna blow up. Because that's the way no matter which shape you are, you can be in the best shape of your life. You get there, you get tired, like dying tired.
That just shows you, and it just shows you like how close how fine the line is between winning and losing in these matches. Like you said,
the fight can turn in seconds.
Yeah.
The pace is too fast.
Yes.
Your brain has to react so fast that you not even realize that you're doing. Sometimes you see guys that get knocked down and they keep moving. They have no idea what they're doing. That's their muscle memory working, and then they recover, and then they're on the fight again. So I think if you don't go through that, it's very hard for you to show your students, the people that you're teaching, that can happen.
Yeah, so I'm always wondering what's going through the heads of these fighters when they're about to fight. My first question is, like, when they're like a big favorite or a big underdog, they're very aware of that, right?
They are very aware of that.
Does that affect them psychologically?
I hate when my guys get underdogs because it's so dangerous.
Yeah, really?
Oh, yeah, because they know they have nothing to lose.
Right.
They just want to come and beat you up to take your spot.
Right. I mean, that's got to affect you mentally. If you know that you're a big favorite in a fight, there's got to be a small, I don't care how trained you are, how disciplined you are, there's got to be a small part of you that's thinking like, I don't really have to give 100% to win this fight. Or is that not true?
Oh, I would think people would be embarrassed.
Yes, there's people that think like that, okay? But I think a long time ago, you could beat someone just with talent and not hard work. Today you can't do it anymore.
So competitive now.
Yeah, and even in jiu-jitsu it's like that. Like you might go to compete and just a nobody can come and like just smash you, and you have no idea where the person came from.
Yeah.
Same thing is happening in MMA. That happened many times with me. Like we create a strategy for this kind of fighter, and we prepare to win, and it gets there. The guy came so much better,
right,
that it surprised us. One example, Paul Felder. I have my school is in Philly. My Daniel Gracie Philly is my school.
Yeah.
I opened the school there, and I have a very successful team there, MMA team. In 3 years, I had 3 guys on the UFC, and one of them, he's training at Ricky Rufus now. But Paul Felder, they call him the Irish Dragon. We went to fight Trinaldo in Brazil, and the whole game plan was he's going to be on his hometown. He's in Brazil. He's fighting in Brazil. He's going to come to smash you. And we're going to take advantage of that, and we're going to count. We're going to be a smart fighter. Fight start, and he starts to use leg movement, head movement, and he's not coming. And I'm like, oh, my God, that sucks, because I noticed that he had a strategy for us. And it surprised us. So he started to take Paul down, and Paul was coming to him, and he started to take Paul down. And then one time he elbowed him, and the same thing that happened to me, the fight, the cut was too deep. They had to stop the fight. But that was an example that we were prepared for that fighter to come like the way he comes, all aggressive, especially on his hometown.
Right.
He didn't. He came smarter. His Muay Thai was sharp and surprise us, and that can happen all the time.
Yep, that's why it's so it's hard for the market to make the lines, because there's so much more uncertainty in MMA than there are in any. Yeah, and there's a lower sample size of events to look back on. So can we quickly talk about UFC 213?
Yes.
I handicap all the UFC main events, the main cards. and I have a pretty good read on totals. You know, they say styles make fights. You know that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I find that using that approach to handicap the fights is better for picking totals, for picking whether the fight's going to end early or later than actually picking who's going to win.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a pretty good read on totals. Here's what I'm thinking about. You know, Yoel Romero, right? Yoel Romero, he's fighting Robert Whittaker, and it's a 5-round fight, of course. And of course, we know that, you know, Whittaker obviously can be an early finisher. Romero has vicious, obviously striking and can finish people in dramatic fashion. But Romero tends not to finish his guys when he gets knockouts. They tend not to come in the early rounds. It does tend to come in like the 3rd round if you look at his last 6 fights.
Yeah, well, what I think about Romero is like he's very dangerous on the beginning too because he's very explosive.
Right.
Okay. His athleticism is what makes him surprise everyone.
Right.
He'll come like out of nowhere and, you know, a flying knee or like he swings his hand so fast. What is good about him is that most of the people that are that athletic and explosive, they can be explosive for the first minute or 2 minutes and then they slow down. He doesn't.
Right.
So all the fighters that try to make him tired and then slow down are getting beat because of that, because they're not training on the same pace that he is. And I think it's a very smart idea, or whoever he's training with and where he's training with, because he keeps that pace from the beginning to the end.
Right.
And this is a guy that even if he's like dying tired, like you're really down, he can pull a overhand right and knock someone out in front of you. So that's going to be an interesting fight. I think Romero.
You think he's going to take it, right?
I think so.
You think so? All right, I'll take it.
I think it's going to be an early round.
Oh, you think so?
I
Really?
don't think they're going to go 5 rounds.
Right. I don't think they're going to go 5 rounds, but I think that the total here is 1.5 rounds, and I think that the over, I think it's going to go longer than 1.5 rounds because they're both going to respect their skills so much, and Romero just doesn't have a history like against Machida. He could have knocked out Machida in the early rounds, but he chose not to.
That's it. I think 3rd round.
Third round, yeah. Right? Yes.
They finish a TKO or KO.
Something like that. Yeah, it's weird because I don't think it's going to go 5 rounds at all, but I love the over 1.5 rounds. On that one, over 1.5 rounds.
Over 1.5.
Yeah, you're looking at me like I'm an idiot.
That's a very good pick. Definitely, I think so too.
Thanks for saying.
Remember that on the beginning, like right on the start, he's also very dangerous.
Romero.
Yeah,
but I think he's gonna, because first of all, he's getting a little bit on in years, 40 years old, right?
He's such a good shape.
I know he's in great shape, but see, this is my other question for you, right? Like what Romero does, part of what makes him so great is that he's so quick, as you said, his athleticism, that he can get away with things that guys a little bit less athletic just could not get away with. You know what I mean? So at some point, though, that quickness has got to start to, and when you're 40 years old, it starts to reduce a little bit, right?
Yes, but what I think is that the only problem with that is the recovery. It's not how fast can you be or how in shape can you be. It's the recovering on the training. It's not on the fight. So if he is getting ready for the fight the way he's supposed to, he's not going to feel that on the fight. He's going to feel that on the training.
But his reflexes at some point have got to just slow down, right?
If that's what I'm saying. If he's training right, no.
No?
No.
What if he's 65 years old?
Remember, he's preparing for no, then that is a big difference. No, yeah,
I feel like Larry David all of a sudden. Like, no? What are you talking about?
40, like around 40 to 45, you still can do it the same way you can do it with 20-something. Over that, then, yes, your body starts to break it and you start to slow down. But like I said, it's depending how you prepare for that, depending how you get ready for that. You can go there and do whatever you did when you're a young guy. But the training sucks because when you hurt something, it takes like a month more, a month longer to recover, and it sucks. When you have a camp, you have to prepare for the fight, and then you hurt. So, but on the fight, that's what I heard from my cousin Hanzo when I went for my first fight. My ribs were like almost broken, and he said, "Don't worry, you're not gonna feel anything."
All right.
I'm like, okay, get to the fight. My ribs are fine, like nothing. I didn't feel any pain.
Well,
great, right? How that works.
I believe we're going to be covering this with Andreas Hell later on today. I'm liking the over 1.5 rounds. I just feel like they're both going to be very respectful of the other one's skills, right? I mean, Romero's going to be respectful of what Whittaker could do to him.
100%.
Yeah,
yes. And remember, he's being watched by those guys for a while now. So I think that Whittaker is going to come with a strategy for him to
Yes, definitely. All right, and then the main event, a great fight, Shevchenko against Nunes. It's dead. The odds are dead even. The market is giving them each a 50% chance to win here. Obviously, Nunes is vicious. Now, I don't know how closely you've followed both of these fighters, but my sense is that slight edge to Shevchenko here to maybe revenge her last loss. I think she's a very well-rounded and balanced fighter. And Nunes, this is another question I want to ask you. Nunes has a history of stamina issues, of cardio issues, and is that something that training can fix, or is that just something you're stuck with your whole life?
100%, but I think she changed that. I think she's a lot better now. This is what I think. There's a big difference in between women MMA and men MMA. Okay, women, they are explosive, are the ones that win in fights. This is what I think women should do to win fights, is to train a lot of sprints, a lot of power, because usually they're slow. Mm-hmm. And Nunes has a judo background, just like Ronda.
Right.
And this is what I think why Ronda won so many fights, because of her judo background.
Yeah.
And Nunes are going to do the same, because if you ever heard about the judo training, is tough as hell. I'm telling you, like, I've been to judo training before, and it doesn't matter if you're a woman, if you're small, fat, you kill yourself training. Mm-hmm. And that's the background that they have. And I think Nunes brings that background to the fight, what I think makes her a lot more dangerous. And I think my personal thinking is that she's going to win this fight easier than people think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. I went through judo training. It wasn't that tough. In my experience, it was not that big of a deal.
Well, if you train, I trained. See, my experience judo. I trained judo with on the time in Brazil was the best judo team there was in the country. They hired. I was teaching in São Caetano, and the city hired the best judo players in the country on that time. And that's what I was training with. So
you just keep hitting the ground.
That's it. Oh, I would go home and say, why am I doing that?
All right. Well, I'm thinking, I'm leaning the other way. I'm thinking Shevchenko's going to get, and I think that as the fight goes on, she's going to have more and more of an advantage. I don't know if this is going to go 5 rounds, but it's very, very close. Nunes, obviously a beast. But my pick at the current odds, my pick would be Shevchenko. I think she's going to. I'm just impressed by what she does. All around. And I think
she's a great striker.
Yeah.
Like, she can surprise Nunes. But like I said, remember that when you're winning fights and you get where you get, Nunes get there, she has the belt. It's very hard to break her confidence.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And then this is like Anderson Silva.
Sure.
Yeah, everybody's saying, like, I don't think. Of course, that Anderson was a great fighter, but he was not complete. And what happened was, every time that someone tried to come and break his winning streak winnings, they didn't break him mentally, and that's where he won the fight. Like that Sonnen fight with seconds to the end, he goes and get him on a triangular choke. That is because he never got broken mentally, and this is what I think is going to happen on this fight. Nunes is confident. She knows she has to win. She get into that point that, okay, I got here, nobody's going to take me out of here. As Shevchenko is coming like, okay, I want to get this belt, but it's a kind of like difference. You want to beat the champion. I think you have to train twice as more.
Sure.
So let's see.
Let's
see if that happens.
We shall see. When I looked at her, I look at fighters like this in situations like, I look at their interviews and I look at how they're training and are they focused. And Shevchenko seems like she's all business right now, totally 100% all business and totally focused.
Well, then we're gonna have a good fight.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be a great fight. And again, if it was, if Shevchenko was a favorite, I wouldn't take it. But at dead even odds, I'd give a slight advantage to Shevchenko. I could be wrong though, but I don't think I'm wrong about the Ayla Romero.
Look, I met Nunes. She's a great woman. She's so nice. She got to Massachusetts with one of my fighters, Kaline Medeiros, and it was impressive how nice she was.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, yes, I want her to.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing.
She's Brazilian.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if I was actually friends with any MMA fighter, there's no way I could accurately handicap any of their fights.
That's what
there's
I'm
no way I could do it. Right. Okay. All right. So,
but I'm realistic.
Right.
Okay? I know that she has a chance to beat Nunes 100%.
Right. Okay. Well, Daniel Gracie, thanks so much for being here. I usually cover baseball. I'm coming off of 2 big days, so we got to get to some baseball picks here. And you can sit in if you want. Do you follow baseball at all, or not really?
Not at all. I follow soccer, and now I start to watch some football. But yeah, but baseball, I'm like, okay, I'm watching that hours to have like one little thing happening. I'm like, what's the point? Oh, we'll tailgate and barbecue. That's the point. And I'm like, okay.
That's right.
All right. So.
And he'll be on with you and Andres later on.
Yes.
We'll also have a bit of an interview with him later on too. So thanks for stopping by.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you, guys.
Instagram, right? Instagram and.
My Instagram, Daniel Gracie. Please go on my website on my school in Philly, Daniel Gracie Philly, to get to know everything that's happening. I have a bunch of fighters fighting. I get a bunch of prospects that soon you're gonna see their names on the UFC. And also, I started the MMA training at Daniel Gracie School in Brooklyn. And since we had 22 fights, only 1 loss. Nice. So we're doing good.
And I'll tell you guys, especially I only know East Coast stuff, so like Philly, but local MMA organizations, and if they're good and they have their events, they're really fun to watch.
Oh yeah, we have like Cage Fury, CFFC, Cage Fury Fighting Championship. It's a local show. You go there, they have every fight. It's a UFC level fight, and it's amazing. So the August 5th, they're gonna have a show at the Borgata in Atlantic City, and I have already 4 fighters fighting that night because all my fighters they're from that area and they put a good show, so they're always inviting us to fight that show.
How is it covered?
I think Cage Fury now is televised. I just don't remember which TV is showing, but it's showing on TV. Yes.
Yeah, if you're in any major metropolitan area, check them out. Because they're in every city these days, and they're worth going to, I think.
Yeah, amazing.
All right, so let's wrap up the show. Should we give baseball picks or not?
Yeah, of course. Well,
okay.
I know Deborah needs
I'm not going to give any.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks a lot.
I'm taking them.
Yes.
Bobby, watch out.
Bobby.
Okay, thanks for joining us, Daniel Gracie. Okay, all right. So let's get into the picks for today. All right. Okay. Yeah. Wonder what Wang Zhou's opinion of all that would have been.
I know you guys, I'm sure, itching for baseball picks. But that was really awesome, I think.
Yeah. No, they didn't like it, but that's okay. That's all right. Yeah. Okay. And those were again. Thanks for all the people who have been waiting. Those are 20 minutes of your life that you will never get back if you were expecting only baseball talk here. That's Kobe Aaron Valentine says, warn us about that. You're going to talk 25 minutes about MMA. Those are 25 minutes about your life that we'll never get back. Yes, that's right. Kobe Aaron Valentine, I got your 25 minutes, and you ain't never getting it back. All right, no, kidding around. All right, okay, and we're back. Okay, all right. Yes, we should prepare people more for when it's live shows for what the content is, so they can choose to tune in or not. But all right, so baseball now. We'll try to cram the entire 15-game card into about 10 or 15 minutes here. Which the good part is that there's not a lot of plays that I'm really liking. So a lot of interesting situations, but not a lot of plays that I'm really liking. The picks that I was leaning towards, there was no total, obviously, for the Pitt Cubs game, but I was definitely leaning under if it was 9. That was my note, and it is 9, and I'm seeing 9, so I'm definitely leaning under 9. Definitely leaning Cubs team total under. Also, Tomarino Tobor made a good point last night about or yesterday about how Miami might be a good bet in this one. Matt Moore obviously is not as crappy at home as he is on the road, but he's still very vulnerable. And Straley, very reliable, maybe one of the most undervalued and underrated pitchers in all of baseball, even though everyone knows he's good. San Francisco traveling back from a trip, so they don't have a travel advantage over Miami here. So Miami on the first 5 innings might be a great play. I might give that one. Other picks that I was leaning towards, and then the Houston game is a tricky one. I did take the Houston team total over yesterday, and that one just missed. Houston might be in a slight down spot for this final series before the All-Star break. I would be leaning towards Houston on the second half in this one. Sanchez is coming back, and Sanchez is looking pretty good, right? His rehab starts look like he's probably going to be okay going forward, at least for 6. I'm sorry, what?
Sanchez, sorry.
That's Aaron Sanchez, right. And his rehab start was good in terms of his health, not necessarily in terms of his results. He did give up a bunch of runs, but he says his health is okay, that his blister problem has been solved. So I think he might have a nice solid 5 or 6 innings here, and then Houston will pick it up in the second part of that game. So I'm gonna give that one as a pick for sure. Houston second half -135, and I'll also give Miami with Straley on the first 5 innings, just because it's such a low line. Miami first 5 innings -115 is the line that I will have to give at Intertops and a bookmaker Bet DSI. All right, so those are 2 trips for sure. Let me see a bunch of comments here commenting on these games. Let me see. Just all right. Other picks that I was leaning towards today. Let me just quickly find out what they were. And again, remind myself here. Let's see. Yeah, and then there's a bunch of underdogs that I think have probably small value. The White Sox are having some serious bullpen issues, and Derek Holland is more vulnerable than Marquez, I would say. But at that underdog line, I would lean White Sox as well. I did bet that one, and there was another underdog that I took in this one. Let's see. Another underdog that I took was which one was it? Oh, I took a small shot with Oakland, Mania and Paxton. Paxton is, obviously had a better start his last time out, but Mania, even if Paxton is good, I think can be expected to be as good, if not maybe even a little bit better than Paxton. Seattle has definitely been slumping recently, so I would lean Oakland at that line, and I think probably one of Oakland and the White Sox wins. The lines are in the +140s, and I also took a shot with the Angels. Nolasco has had a weird 2 innings, two straight shutout starts in a row, and is that sustainable for him? Almost certainly not. But I wouldn't necessarily say I'm higher on Hamels than I am on Nolasco. Hamels off a good start, but as regular viewers of this show know, I was expecting Hamels to struggle a bit going forward. So that's another road underdog, the Angels, that I also bet. I got a better line than it is now. I bet it at the 140s. It's now at about 130, and then the obvious pick, if you want to take a shot with it, is the Yankees team total over. Guerra is starting from Milwaukee. He's looking like he's really struggling in a bad way right now. And the only issue, of course, there is that it is the market's onto it, so it's a high team total. It's 6. But that might be worth a shot anyway. The Yankees team total over 6 might be worth a shot. So that would definitely be a lean for me there as well. And then the Cubs game is 9. Butler's the kind of guy who, he's either going to give you 5 okay innings one way or another, or 5 kind of crappy innings, but Williams has been pitching well recently, so I'd be leaning under on that one. I would be leaning the team total under for the Cubs, and I would also be leaning Pittsburgh as a road dog. So there's a bunch of road dogs today that I think have small value. That would be Pittsburgh, the Angels, and the White Sox, and Oakland. I think all 4 of those probably have small value as road underdogs. All right, let's get to the comments. Let's see what the comments are here. Let's see. Kobe Aaron Valentine says, "Love Oakland today, PD boy." Yes, I like them. I bet them. I don't know if I quite love them yet, but I definitely bet them. And maybe when I look into it more, I will be loving it. Okay. Chris Cannabis saying Oakland LAA in a nighttime parlay. Yeah, I mean, I could certainly see all 4 of those teams winning, and then cashing on a big parlay. Let me see. Yeah, and then the other issue. Yeah, all right. So John Carey's asking about what about those Yankees today? Yes. That is the big issue here. I think the one strong lean on that game is just that the Yankees will hit Guerra. Are they a good bet at -200? I don't know. You want to take a shot with the over on that game at where is it, at 10.5? I don't know. Maybe the best way to play that game is just to keep it simple and take a shot with the Yankees team total over, even though it is at 6 and their offense has been a little bit mediocre recently. So let's see other questions. Kobe Aaron Valentine says, "I like Texas. Hamels been dealing against the Angels." Yeah, at an underdog, I'm not sold on Hamels going forward long term, but we shall see. All right, let me see. Other quick comments. Hako Schofield saying, "You've been on fire lately, Pete." Yes, that is true. 6-3 day yesterday, including one of the winners was an underdog winner. So Yeah, that's why I'm wearing my my Warriors Furies outfit once again. And let's see. Let's see. All right. Okay. Going back to all the. Okay. Juan White saying, you've seen what the Brewers do to lefties. Yes, the Brewers can hit lefties well. Now, Montgomery is a guy who, in general, I'm kind of high on. So it's just, you know, what is this? Is my thing on?
No. I just don't know if you were fiddling with it.
Oh, no. Okay. All right, yeah. So, right. Yes. So, again, the Milwaukee can hit lefties. So I would not want to take the Yankees here at that line. I would not want to take them at the -1 line. Maybe a shot with the over 10.5. But then again, what if Montgomery has a great start? You know, the Yankees team total over 6 might just be the best way to go here. Hako Schofield asking, any low-hanging fruit? Not really. There's some fruit that's like borderline low-hanging. I think the Yankees team total over is borderline low-hanging, and I think the Astros second half is also borderline low-hanging as well. The Astros second half is probably my best bet of the day. I don't think you can really count it as low-hanging, but and then also the Dodgers to hit Hamill, right? Hamill has definitely regressed. He regressed in his last start, and I expect that to be more likely than not to continue. So the Dodgers team total over might also be worth a shot. So I think there's a lot of plays that have small value today. Nothing that really jumps out at me as having great value, but a lot of plays that are having a small value. Let me quickly go over the card again. Pittsburgh as a small underdog, the Pittsburgh Cubs under, and the Cubs team total over are all leans that I would be having for sure. San Diego on the second half is also a play that might be. San Diego has sort of quietly had the one of the top 3 bullpens in baseball over the past, I would say, 30 days or so. So San Diego on the second half might be worth a shot. The Yankees, Atlanta, Washington, I'm passing on that one. The Yankees team total over at 6 is definitely a lean. Houston, second half -135 is definitely a pick. The Boston-Tampa Bay game is interesting. Slight lean to Boston on the first half. Pomerantz is very good. Odorizzi a little bit less impressive. And then the Detroit-Cleveland game, Zimmerman and Carrasco. You know, what's up with Cleveland? Once again, here we go. They won 1 game yesterday, and now all of a sudden people are thinking, well, maybe they will put it together. I have a feeling that they will hit Zimmerman here. So I would maybe have a lean towards the Cleveland team total over as well. There's no way in hell I would, just similar to the Yankees game, I wouldn't take them at a -200 line, -210 now. If I wanted to take Cleveland to have a good game offensively against a suspect starting pitcher, I would take them on the team total over. I have a slight lean towards the Angels, although Hamels is coming off a good start, and Kobe Aaron Valentine likes Texas. That's certainly understandable. Baltimore-Minnesota game is going to be a pass for me. Jorge could have a good start, and Gossman, as I sort of suspected, has been better recently. Then there's the DeGrom-Martinez game in the Mets against St. Louis. And, you know, again, DeGrom is off of an extra day of rest, and he tends to do very, very well when he has an extra day of rest. So I'm expecting a good start from DeGrom here. I don't really want to bet against Martinez, though, so maybe the first 5 innings under might be worth a shot, and that is 4. That would definitely be a lean. Mets St. Louis under first 5 innings, and then the team total, maybe a shot with St. Louis team total under 3.5. That's cutting a little bit close, though. And I could also see a play on the Mets +1. As a possible play with value as well. Again, the White Sox in the +40s is a play that I would think of has a little bit of value. That Arizona and Cincinnati, that's going to be a pass for me. Arizona should have a big edge here, but at -190, no, I can't take that one. Greinke obviously is great at home, but just cannot take that line at -190. Although if someone gave the opinion that they think Arizona on the run line is definitely a play with value, I certainly wouldn't think that was the stupidest opinion in the world, and Arizona did get back Pollock, which is a nice benefit there. Again, the Dodgers, I think they're probably going to hit Hamill, again, similar to the Indians game. If I was going to take that one, I would probably not take the Dodgers at -200. I would take the Dodgers team total over at 5. Oakland as an underdog, I think that is a solid play. And actually, I'll give that one as an official pick as well. I'll throw that one on there. I definitely bet it. And I will give it, that will be +142 at a bunch of places, BetOnline and sportsbetting.ag. And then Miami on the first 5 innings, I believe I did give that one as a pick, didn't I? Yes, I did. Miami on the first 5 innings, -115 is a solid pick. That's a partial tale of Tom Marino's initial assessment of that game yesterday in my show with Drew Martin. All right. Let me see some other comments here. DJ1 Mike asking about Oakland, Seattle. Yes, I like Oakland. Kobe Aaron Valentine loves it. I wouldn't say that I love any pick where you're fading Paxton, because Paxton is, you know, the real deal in a real way. But Mania is probably every bit as good, and I like Oakland there at the line. Yes, Carlos Luders asking what's up with Paxton or no pick. That was my opinion on that in the beginning of the season, and ever since he went on the DL, that has totally changed. And I've picked against Paxton a few times, I believe, and picked with some overs in his games. But he's still a guy who I see as a far above average pitcher. At any point could turn a corner and become a lead again, so that would not be a surprise. But I am betting against Oakland, and the other reason that I'm taking Oakland here is because I see Mania as actually he's got 3 above average pitches, and I just see not a huge. I don't expect a huge discrepancy here in the starting pitching from between Paxton and Mania. So in light of that, I think Oakland as a pretty healthy sized underdog has some value. But again, this is just like the Tampa Bay game yesterday. The reason I liked Tampa Bay yesterday was because of the line, not because I thought they were definitely going to win or anything. And if it had been, if Tampa Bay had been a big favorite and it had been Boston Red Sox with Sale at plus 140, I would have been all over that. And if this line was Seattle plus 140, I'd definitely be on Seattle here. So it's just the line. I like Oakland at plus 140, but if lines were switched and it was Oakland as a big road favorite and Seattle as a big home underdog, I would take Seattle in this one for sure. All right, so okay. Oh no, DJ One Mike says, okay, I'm taking Oakland. I think it should be probably plus 115 instead of plus 140. So I think it's more likely to lose than win, but I think there's some value there, DJ One Mike. All right, but I am taking it. Okay. Josh Miller says Oakland is ass on the road. Yes, on the entire season. But very recently, they have turned a kind of a corner with their lineup. They won last night, and I think that right now they're in pretty good form. So I'm willing to take it. Let's see. All right, let me just check some other comments here. Marco Lou says I like Miami and Arizona on the money line. All right, Arizona. Listen, if you want to lay that wood with Arizona, I certainly can understand why. I'm gonna take. I'd probably lean towards Arizona on the run line. I'd probably prefer Arizona on the run line more than the money line. But certainly Greinke is great, and it's a tough spot for Cincinnati. Absolutely, it's just a little bit too high. Let's see. Other comments. Tom Warhawk says Rockies are second worst over team in MLB and hit 4 overs in the last 18. All thanks to the opponent. 12.5 is insane for them. Yes, Tom Warhawk. I have been on a bunch of successfully on a bunch of Colorado unders. Yesterday, I thought it was a good spot for an over with them, and that game once again hit under. So kudos to Mark Lathrop for having another great call on the Colorado under.
Excellent as well, just like you.
Congratulations to I went head to head with Mark Lathrop yesterday, and again I was taking mostly unders with Colorado. Yesterday I switched to the over, and once again the game went under. So you might have a great point there, Warhawk. Let me just quickly see what remind myself. Yeah, I mean the issue here is just that Holland especially is vulnerable, and the White Sox are having some serious bullpen issues. That's a total I'm staying off of. I'm staying off of that one, but I agree with you that in general, going forward until the market adjusts, Colorado unders at home will probably continue to be a good bet. I like the White Sox in that one though as a decent sized underdog. All right, let's just quick do it. Lee Shen says Zach Greinke is easy money. Look, he might be. I might be on that one. But I don't know. It's definitely a bad spot for Cincinnati. Edelman has been okay, but definitely vulnerable, and Arizona has a nice home advantage, obviously. So, then Kobe Ann Valentine says the Jays will crush Charlie Schwag Morton. Charlie Morton is a curious case. Obviously, in the beginning of the season when he was starting, a lot of people, I think myself included, had him pegged as maybe even an auto fade. But he had an increase in velocity. He started getting strikeouts out of nowhere. There were some people who speculated that I think it was you, Matty Ice, who speculated like, what's up with Charlie Morton? The juice, right? Steroids. You were what? No, I'm saying in the beginning of the year, we were like, what the hell's up with Charlie Morton? You made the suggestion that steroids might be the answer to that question, and you might be right. So I'm not exactly sure what's up with Morton, but he was definitely excellent, surprisingly good in the beginning of the year. So in his first start back here, I'm not prepared to I'm just going to take a very much wait-and-see approach with him. Same thing with Sanchez. That's why I'm liking Houston on the second half, and I'm making that an official pick. I wouldn't call it a low-hanging fruit, but I would call that probably my best bet of the day. Houston on the second half. Let's see. Any other? Conrado Mendoza says, so many huge lines today. I'm not seeing a lot of value. Yes. And all of the teams with the big favorite lines, I'm leaning towards the team total overs and not taking them as those big favorites. Conrado Mendoza says, jump on the Brewers train before it's too late. That train has been chugging along all season long, pretty much. And you know, I'm not gonna take them today at plus 180, although they might prove being the best bet there. But I might, you know, Yankees team total over might be worth a shot there. All right, okay, all right, okay. Hako Schofield says, Pete, are you tweeting picks for this weekend? Sure, I'll tweet some picks if I see anything good. Sunday's going to be a tricky day because of course it is there might be some funky stuff happening with the lineup. So anything I tweet on Sunday will definitely be only after I see what the lineups are. But yes, all right. So once again, an interesting show today. Yeah, no, I love doing interviews with guys like Daniel Gracie. But it is true that in the future, I think we should plan it out so people know what they're going to get. Oh, really? Okay, yeah. Just so that people, just so that people know, it's like, all right, if you want to tune in for 25 minutes of in-depth, MMA from a Gracie family member, that's what we're going to be doing today. And if you don't want to, you can go do something else in your life. So yeah, to anyone who was caught off guard by that and expecting baseball picks right off the bat and instead getting MMA talk for 25 minutes, I do apologize for that. It was a little last-minute scheduling blip that I wasn't aware of, and so. But yeah, I think in the future, wouldn't you agree with that, Matty? Guys, in the future, we should make it like very clear that so people know what they're going to get. Did we? Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean,
I thought it was awesome.
No, it was. That's what. No, it was an awesome interview. I'm just saying that it was like people were expecting something different, and so it's like, well, what is this? You know what I mean? It's like
Change happens.
I know, but
roll with it, baby.
Right.
Same damn thing every day.
Okay. So Juan White asking, how's your WNBA, Pete? Not that. I mean, my WNBA has been.
Good weekend.
Who? Who? WNBA? Yeah. Overall, I tweeted one out last night that lost by a cunt pair, as they say. Overall, my WNBA on the year is still excellent. Recently, though, the past 2 weeks or so, it's been slightly below average. But I still feel like I have a good read on it. And I'm going to tweet out today if I see anything good. All right, let's see. Right, Go Beyond Valentine says, great interview, just caught off guard and had my my baseball hat on. Yeah, and then I also felt like, because when we were talking with Gracie, I was like, this is like great stuff, but I was aware, I wasn't even looking at the comments. I was like, I know people are like, what is this? We came here for we've gotten baseball, deep in-depth baseball analysis for 40 minutes, the last 50 shows in a row, and then all of a sudden there's this without warning. And so I think we got to put ourselves more in the shoes of our viewers. Even more than we did this time, right? You got to think, if you're a viewer, these guys have lives. They can't sit here reading every SBR tweet to find out what every show is. It's a matter of habit. You know what I mean? So people are like, all right, I know I'm going to come here and I'm going to have this kind of show at this time every day. We can't fuck with that too much. All right. So anyway. Yes. And I would have wanted the Gracie one. Actually, I had a bunch more questions. I would have wanted that to be an hour-long interview.
I was actually surprised.
That's what I'm saying.
How natural. Well, we do have an interview with him later on.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We should have done. We should have been like, all right, we're going to have a separate issue with Daniel Gracie. It's going to be an hour. He's going to give. That was the thing. It was only supposed to be 5 minutes, but he was so good. Right. Yeah. No, but I mean, all right. So we'll talk about this.
We got you and Andres talking to him later on.
Yes.
Behind our official referee for the hot dog contest. It's also
okay. Excellent. Yes. That's
you guys all enjoyed seeing.
That's great. Okay. All right. So let me just. It was a weird show. And Neil Frank saying, please don't bet against Nunes tomorrow, Pete. You will regret it. Really? Okay. All right.
I'm not touching that fight because I've been more interested in the female fighters recently.
Yeah.
And I want to see that fight. I don't want anything to take away from my enjoyment of that fight.
Yes, I hear you on that one. Listen, no, Nunes is great. It's just at the odds. I feel like the slight edge to Shevchenko, and at even odds, I would take a shot with that. I don't know. We'll see. All right. DJ's one mic. It seemed like Pete really enjoyed picking the dude's brain, so I was happy to let him do his thing. Yes, that's the thing. Is I was like, would be a great interview, but I'm like, I know that it's in an inappropriate scheduling spot here. So I was like, shit, this is going to be a great interview, but I got to get this shit wrapped up because it's just like out of sync with what we normally do.
The thing is too, that this isn't exactly just an MLB show.
No, I know, but
right now, because
yeah.
that's all we have to talk about.
Right. Okay, so and now also talking about our scheduling is also out of sync with what we normally do. So let me just okay, let's wrap this show up.
This is my day off.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for Matty Ice for coming and doing these shows.
Get a pat on the back.
Okay, right. Thank you. No, but seriously, thank you for doing it. We all it's a fun show. We love all the comments and all the insights, of course. Next week, I think. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap this up soon, but next week there's going to be a bunch of days off, obviously in the All-Star break. So those shows, I think, will all be very free form, Matty. We can talk about all sorts of crap.
I'll just say to this, next week's going to be weird.
Yeah, it'll be good. Next week next week is
right. We're going to talk about some stuff.
Yeah, we'll be able to talk about like porn and YouTube communities and all that stuff.
Our raffle.
Yeah.
You guys have. If you are not in the contest, if you don't want to come to Costa Rica, if you don't give a shit about our conference, still watch that raffle.
Yes, and also, of course, we will be talking very, very in depth about first half results in MLB and giving thoughts on what to look for in the second half. I'm going to do as much MF and research as I can. I'm going to be reading Fangraphs all day long between now and then, and I'm just going to get as much advanced information as I can to try to give as much insightful advice on what to expect from the second half of baseball, and especially in the first few weeks after the All-Star break. So that's what we'll be talking about next week. They should be interesting shows. Let me just quickly wrap up and make some final picks here. The Pittsburgh and the Cubs game. What do I want to do here? 3 leans. Pittsburgh as a small dog, under on the game, and the Cubs team total under. I guess I'll just keep all 3 of those as leans because you never know. I mean, the Cubs could have – Williams has had some good starts in a row, but the Cubs could get to him. So I'll just and Butler is very, very man, I want to take the under 9 on that one so bad. Let me just quickly jeez, God. I want to take the under 9 on that one so bad. I'll leave it as a lean, though, because I have had such a successful last few days. I'll leave it as a lean. San Diego, I want to take San Diego on the second half. So freaking bad, Matty Ice. Let me see what that line is. San Diego second half -130. Jesus Christ. I'll leave that one as a lean as well, but that's definitely a lean. The Yankees team total over. Let's just quickly check. Guerra is so vulnerable right now. At some point, the Yankees have to explode offensively. 6 + 104 at Pinnacle. What should I do? Guerra. It's a night game. It's at Yankee Stadium. You think so? I mean, the Yankees do have those bats. Guerra's been so vulnerable. All right, I'll make that one a pick. Yankees team total over 6 + 104. I've lost a couple of team total overs by 1 run recently, which is kind of frustrating. So if the Yankees score 5 in this game, I'm going to be pissed. But I think Guerra is really, really vulnerable here, and I think that the Yankees will hit him. So Yankees team total over 6 + 104. That's going to be an official pick. Houston second half -135. That's my best bet of the day. Not quite low hanging fruit, but definitely my best bet of the day. Boston on the first 5 innings will also be a lean. I'll hold off on that one, but that's going to be a lean. Cleveland, I do think they'll hit Zimmerman. Look, what the hell do I know? Let me see the team total for that one. I think it's 6 as well. No, it's over 5 -130. 5 -134. Holy shit! Let me just check one thing very, very quickly. Very, very quickly checking here. Okay, I'll give that one as a pick as well. Cleveland team total over 5 -134. Zimmerman. What?
No, for Cleveland games recently. No, I mean, not.
Yeah, I mean, look, Zimmerman's had a few good starts in a row, but his last start was a lot worse, and the Tigers have bullpen issues. So I'm going to take Cleveland team total over 5 -134. If I get burned, I get burned. The Angels, I'm lean. That's a definite lean as an underdog at Texas, but I'm going to hold off on that one. I'll just keep it as a lean. The Mets and St. Louis game, man, that is really, really tempting to take the first 5 innings under and to take the Mets +1. Those are 2 strong leans there. First 5 innings under and the Mets +1. Jesus, the Mets +1. You know what? I will give that one. Mets +1. DeGrom is so good right now, and he's off an extra day of rest. Yeah, Martinez is actually off a bad start. Now, I think Martinez will bounce back, but even if he does bounce back, I think the Mets +1 might be worth a shot. So that's going to be a big favorite line, but I'll take it. +104 on the money line part of that one. Oh, no, actually, I'm going to take +105 at Intertops. +105 at Intertops on the Mets money line, and the run line part of that, +1.5, will be -207 at Pinnacle. So Mets +1 is an official pick. Then the White Sox as an underdog with Holland and that bullpen, I will take that one as well. I will take that one as well. Plus 145 at Pinnacle. White Sox, I'll make that one an official pick. I just feel like Colorado is so fadeable right now. White Sox have huge bullpen issues right now, but Coors can scramble things. Holland is so vulnerable. Marquez is less vulnerable, but at that line, I'll take it. Plus 145. Arizona game I'm passing on. The Dodgers team total over would be tempting. Let me just quickly see. I'm adding on all these picks. I do like to do this. The Dodgers team total over. It's 5 minus. No, I'm gonna hold off on that one because Hamill might be okay. And then Oakland as an underdog is also one of my picks, and Miami first five innings money line is also one of my picks. All right, okay, a bunch of picks today. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll let you wrap up. We'll close with this. I have to write these scripts, right, for people coming down to the IFPC. So Costa Rica survival guide, right? The first one I wrote was like how to order a beer. The second one I wrote, I was approached afterwards telling me that everybody in the office thought it was inappropriate, so I have to rewrite it. Okay. I can't think of anything else. Okay. So would you, you being coming down here from New York, if you needed to be like, hey, this is really important that you understand and know this, what would it be?
About Costa Rica.
Yeah. I mean, something kind of fun and light too.
One thing to be aware of in Costa Rica. I guess the first thing that comes to mind. This is just the first thing that comes to mind is that the distribution, the presence, the percentage of breast implants down here is just way higher than you would expect. I mean, everyone has breast implants here. Any chick who looks a little bit put together probably has breast implants. Even if she looks like a librarian, even if she looks like an artist, even if she looks like the chicks who dress a certain way in New York, who, chicks who dress that way here are much, much more likely to have breast implants. They're very common down here. That's the first thing that comes to mind to be aware of. It's just the first thing that comes to mind.
All right, I know if I can do a video. I'm not writing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind. All right, so let me just quickly end up with, it's a long show, but that's okay. It was kind of crazy. Quick up with some interesting comments that people asked about. Iceman89. Hey, Pete, do you have a list on top of your head of sinker ball pitchers? Won the Oakland game yesterday. Notice Seattle don't hit sinker ball pitchers. Want a list for future good angles? Yes. The other thing about sinker ballers is that they tend to have very high volatility. So sinker ballers, yes. So sinker ballers, when their sinkers aren't working, that's when you get like 3-inning, 8-run starts and stuff like that. So sinker ballers, I like Perdomo throws a lot of sinkers. Sinker ballers who, if the sinker baller, I either want to bet on or fade. I'm looking to take as big underdog lines as I possibly can. I'm looking to to buy runs if I'm fading him, or to buy runs if I'm betting on him. So yes, I do take that into consideration. Who I don't have a list in my head of sinker ballers. I mean, I know in general who are the sinker ballers and who's not. But okay, and then but yes, that's an excellent point and an excellent question, Iceman89. Hako Schofield saying Cleveland is a heart attack game. DJ1 Mike saying I'm not betting on Cleveland bats. They burn me 3 times a week. It feels like. Yes, I would say of all the picks that I've given today, that's the one I feel the most nervous about.
Well, they had a really bad beat earlier this week.
Yeah, it's just they scored a lot yesterday. They've been bad at home. They hit Zimmerman last time out. Zimmerman is a guy who might, be in for some serious regression going forward. So that might be a bad pick. At 5.5, I wouldn't take it. But Tom Warhawk says Cleveland is the overall worst team in the league at hitting overs. I never bank on them to get runs. Yes, you're right. You're right. Tom Warhawk says Yanks bats aren't that hot. Plus, if Garrett crashes, they'll pull him after like 4 or 5 runs. Yes, that's absolutely true. My sense is just that Dwan White saying Judge is the only one hitting. Yes, and that's my point. My point is that I think that Garrett will be so vulnerable that the Yanks bats will wake up. But that might be a really bad pick. The Yanks team total over 6. Yeah, we shall see. Yeah, both those team totals over. Maybe I shouldn't have done, but it's been a crazy day today. Hopefully I won't get burned. I have 2 more. I have 2 days in a row where I have had profitable results, so hopefully I can do that again today. Tyler Dolan, what are you thinking about DeGrom? Tyler Dolan, I went over that, but I'll go over it one more time. I made the Mets +1, an official pick. I'm expecting a good day from DeGrom in general. I'm expecting a good start from DeGrom, probably a good start from Martinez as well, but less confident about that. All right, so that's it. Let's wrap up the show. That's it. It's been about almost an hour-long show, but given a bunch of picks.
Getting longer.
Yeah. All right. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks for your patience. And we will be back on Monday for another unpredictable show on Monday.